Good morning, everybody. It's Dr. Polak from Progressive Pediatrics in Union City and in Bayonne, New Jersey. I'm here with another Insights with your MD. We usually have these Insight Lives at 10 a.m. on Fridays, but today I had to change the time. There was something in my schedule I simply could not change. So I apologize for the change of time. Next week, Insights with your MD will be back at Friday at 10 a.m. and hopefully will continue at 10 a.m. thereafter. So today I'd like to discuss a bit about the questions I've been getting in the office this week. Most of the questions I'm getting in the office this week are about decisions that families have to make for themselves and for their children during the summer of 2020. The decisions are regarding usually family outings, who can come over, who can't come over. So I'm going to discuss with you my thought process on these decisions and how I can help you walk through your own thought processes, because we can't be there to make every decision with you, but we can help you understand kind of what's at stake. So basically the bottom line is, in my mind, I have to think, is this issue a luxury or a necessity? And that's how I make my decisions. Because the pandemic is not over yet. We're not out of the woods. We can easily slip back into where we were in April and May. We are not ready with the vaccine. We are not ready with all the medications that should be available. So this summer, we have to think differently. Is it a luxury or a necessity? If it's a necessity, your child must attend physical therapy, then they must attend physical therapy. That's not a luxury, that's a necessity. If you must go to work outside of your house, that is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Please go to work. In terms of daycares, if the only way that you can get your work done is your child is in daycare, then it's a necessity. But if you're staying home and you were sending your child to daycare because of socialization, then it suddenly becomes a luxury, right? And then you have to think to yourself, is daycare right for my child, right? Not is daycare right for everyone. So daycare is open at this point in our state, in New Jersey. But again, if it's a necessity for you to function as a family, then it's a necessity, send your child to daycare. If it's something that is a luxury that you can put off until we know more about this pandemic and we have better treatments and vaccines, then I would recommend you hold off on it, on sending your child to daycare. Camp is similarly. So there are day camps that are open and there are sleepaway camps that are open. And again, how do you think about that for your own child? Is it a luxury? Have you always done it and it's been great and they've always had a great time, but this is something that you can put off this summer for them? And honestly, think about it. Think about not sending them to summer camp this year because it's a luxury that you can put off. And talk to them about the fact that this pandemic is not permanent. This will come to an end. We don't exactly know when. Be honest with your children that you're doing something to keep them safe and to keep the rest of the family safe so they don't bring something unsafe home for you or for their grandparents. So the fact that this is not a permanent issue is something that should be forefront in your conversations and honestly in your own thought processes if possible. That's my thought on summer camp. If the only way that you can get your job done, mom and dad, is to send your child to summer camp, then it is no longer a luxury, it's a necessity. Don't feel guilty about it, okay? You must do what is necessary to survive during the pandemic, period. Now, in terms of school, in September, I feel like we're gonna cross that bridge when we come to it in September. It's still June 19th, so you know what, we have a little bit more time. But to be perfectly honest, I see school as a necessity, not as a luxury. So unless we're back to the numbers that we were in April and May, I am hoping that our children attend school again so they can learn properly, so that they can be equal as much as possible in terms of what they have access to at the school. And I am hoping that there's many things that are taken to keep them safe at school, including staggered schedules, smaller class sizes, different sanitization, HEPA filters if necessary, whatever it takes to keep them safe. But again, what is the necessity and what is a luxury? I feel like learning in school is a necessity for children. Regarding eating out, is that a luxury or a necessity for you? That's up to you. Look, we all have things that we've been used to for years. The bottom line is, I like eating out too. I like going to restaurants. So I am being extremely careful as to what I do right now because I am sure that this pandemic is not over and I am not ready to get sick or to bring anything home to my family or patients. So please consider if you're going out to eat and you see more than one or two tables sitting outside, then that's not social distancing, right? You must be socially distanced if you're eating outdoor in a restaurant. In terms of eating indoor in a restaurant, that's not an option yet in New Jersey. And I hope it doesn't become an option in the near future. I don't know that, I don't have control over that, but I can tell you that eating indoors with a group of people will be a big risk. And I'm hoping to try to avoid that because that is not a necessity. That is a luxury that will put us at risk. I'm hoping to put that off for a bit. So regarding travel, and I've gotten lots of questions about travel. What if we take a car? What if we take this? What if we don't go to hotels? Look, travel is a luxury this year. I want to be honest with everyone, okay? If you and your mental health absolutely needs to get away, you can't do without it, then it's a necessity, right? Is this a luxury or a necessity for you? Only you can make that decision. I can tell you that I myself, I am not going to go on any vacations that require me to be around crowds. I'm not going anywhere near hotels, airplanes, buses, trains, none of that yet. That would be a luxury for me because I will survive till next summer when I can hopefully resume my travel plans. But again, it's your choice. What works for your mental health, luxury or necessity? Period. The biggest thoughts in my head actually are gyms are about to open next week. So, what are we going to do? So, I personally enjoy going to the gym. I like working out in classes. I like working out in groups. I haven't done that since March, very early March, to be honest. But it is a luxury for me. So I think gyms can be done safely, but not in groups. If you're in a group class, it is impossible for people who are working out hard to keep all of their saliva and things to themselves. And studies have shown that if you're indoors working out hard in a group, that transmission rate can be around 25%. And those studies were done with the flu, not with the coronavirus, to be honest. So if you choose to go to a gym and you work out alone, make sure you wipe everything down first, really carefully. Make sure you're not close to anyone else who's breathing hard or working out hard. And if there are group classes, I would strongly recommend that gyms take out those group classes outdoors, not do them indoors. If you walk into a gym and it smells stuffy, that's not the right gym for you to work out in. So please be aware of where you're going because the pandemic is not over yet. I hate to keep repeating myself, but I feel like it's necessary. What about visiting our grandparents? Can we go visit grandma and grandpa? The answer is really nuanced. If grandma and grandpa are healthy, if they have been quarantining, if you also have been super careful with who you see, have not been in touch with anyone who might be sick, then you should see grandma and grandpa outside. Have a picnic outdoors with grandma and grandpa so that you're not in an enclosed space running around. If there's anyone in your family who has a little cough and a little sniffle, anything like that, do not take them to grandma and grandpa's house. Please be cognizant that they can transmit it possibly. Now, what else can I tell you? So the bottom line is, what is else is a luxury versus a necessity? In my opinion, going to your doctor to do a physical exam, a routine physical exam for your child is not a luxury. This is an important part of their health care. So we want to make sure we don't miss any developmental issues because we've put off physicals for months. We want to make sure we don't miss any growth issues. You know that in our office, we talk about development at every well visit. So your children are getting that evaluation every well visit. And you know my questions already. How many words? Can the child touch this? Have they transferred that? How are they playing? What are they saying? How are they communicating with you? Those are really critical questions in early childhood until age 3 or 4. Don't skip your child's physicals. These are not luxuries. Also, in older children, we very carefully watch their pubertal development. Is the puberty going in the right direction? Is everything hormonally looking good? What about their weight and height? We talk about BMI. And that conversation has really been important for the early adolescents to set them in the right direction in terms of seeing what their habits have led to. When they see the numbers on their own growth chart and they see that BMI either coming down or flattening because they've been walking and working out, or going straight up because their favorite thing is fast food, then they learn, oh, I can't live like this. So these are things that we cannot skip. In my opinion, these are not luxuries, but are necessities. So just to end on a good note, we are very close to getting some answers about this coronavirus. At least we want to know how exactly it's transmitted. Right now, we think we know, but the studies are going to come out really soon. The vaccines are being worked on very hard, so I can really see an end to this pandemic, but unfortunately not this summer. And there are medications out there to help both children and adults get better, but again, they're not as proven as they should be, and they're not as effective as they should be. So since the pandemic's not over, we're not out of danger, we're in the summer, please think about everything you're doing in terms of if it's a necessity or a luxury for your family, not for everyone else around you. I hope you have a great week, and I hope that you call us for your child's physical exam because it is definitely a necessity, not a luxury. Have a great day. Bye-bye.